What's going on, everyone? Andrew here, and today I wanted to do a complete guide on my process for the session guitar stuff that I do at home. I sometimes get opportunities where a producer will reach out and need guitar tracks laid down for a song that they're working on or a song that a client of theirs is working on. Now, in the past, I've gone directly to the studio to lay down the tracks, but these days I think remote sessions are going to become more frequent. I'm going to show you my process of accomplishing this with the modest home setup that I have. From getting the offer and making sure you're covered in terms of payment and rights, to asking for the right materials from the producer, and then writing, recording, and virtually submitting the songs back to the producer. Welcome to my channel, where my focus is music education for the modern guitarist. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please consider subscribing. So for this example, I want to show you, this is actually a session that I just did for a producer friend of mine that's working on a song for someone that's writing a musical comedy. Actually getting these jobs can sometimes be the hardest part. All the sessions that I've done, or most of the sessions that I've done, have been one-off opportunities that have come from other musical ventures. I was hired for this job from a connection through a gig that I have playing in the house band at Cafe Wah in New York City. If you guys are interested in some more dedicated videos on how I go about getting gigs like that and others, let me know in the comments. My quick advice for all things music has always been, just make sure you practice a lot, get as good as you can get, and then go out and play with as many people as possible, and the opportunities will come over time. The first step should always be to determine your pay and determine whether it's a work for hire job. This means that they're gonna pay you a flat fee, and you'll have to sign a document saying that you were paid a fee and you have no rights or points on the song. And just make sure that you get this cleared up with the producer. Don't be afraid to talk about money, but just get it off the table and move on. Once payment and terms are set, the producer will hopefully send you a scratch track to record over with hopefully at least bass and drums, the track tempo, a chord chart, and then hopefully some details on the kinds of tracks they want from you. This is where being remote can be difficult. Be sure to consult with the producer over phone or email to make sure that you're clear on exactly what tracks they want. In my case, they wanted me to do a stereo acoustic guitar track, an arpeggiated rhythm track, an intro lead guitar part, some verse snicks or like staccato upstroke quick chords, and also a faux mandolin part. I was also sent an older demo version of the song, so I knew exactly what they wanted for the lead part. I basically just had to recreate it. Same with the faux mandolin part. In order to do this from home, you'll need to own some basic equipment. A computer that can handle a digital audio workstation like GarageBand, Logic, or Audacity. In this case, I'm using a 2018 MacBook Pro and we'll be working in Logic with the included plugins. You'll also need an interface. I use the Focusrite Scarlett 212. It's a great interface, it's not very expensive, it has really good preamps. To record acoustics, some kind of microphone will be needed. Typically, you'd want to use like a large or a small diaphragm condenser, but I'm actually using a Sennheiser E935, which is a dynamic cardioid microphone similar to like an SM58. So you really can use whatever you have around. You will need headphones at least, or better yet, headphones and monitors. I have these Presonus Iris little tiny monitors and they work pretty good. Then just the guitars. I would suggest always having one good electric and one good acoustic that are set up well. A couple other things, have a tuner and a capo handy. I use capos frequently when I'm recording, and I'll explain why in a little bit. First up for me is acoustics. I want to get it out of the way, and it'll also help me understand the song in the process. I pull up the sheet music next to the scratch track, and I noodle around to figure out what I'm even going to do. On acoustics, I like to play open chords as much as possible, and this is where the capo comes into play. I was able to put the capo on the 5th fret, and now the first chord, the F chord, is a C shape. The 4 is now an F shape, and the 5 is a G. The capo allows me to play all these chords in open positions and let the other strings ring out. This is something I love to do with acoustics. If I tried to play these chords without a capo, it would be a little too isolated and it just wouldn't work right. Not to mention my voice leading is now a lot better and it's easier for me to change between the chords. I like recording acoustics with a combination of a microphone and a DI. I put it about 1 foot away from the guitar, angled slightly toward the sound hole, and aimed at like the lower bout. My acoustic also has a K&K pickup that's installed inside the guitar. I'll run this into a second channel and record both simultaneously. Here you can hear the difference between the mic and the DI. Neither really sound great alone, but I think they sound really good together. Takes me about 4 or 5 full run-throughs to get really with the vibe, and then I can go back and lay it down. Now the producer asked for stereo tracks, so that means once you get one good one, you need to go back and record it again. No copying and pasting here, it won't work. You need 2 true tracks on either side. And in this case, it's a mic and a DI for each side, so 4 tracks total for acoustics. Next, I'll work on the electric arpeggiated part. I'm gonna keep the capo on the 5th fret for now and basically play the same positions that I played on acoustic. I don't normally like to go too high with a capo on electric because it can start to sound a little goofy, but I think the 5th fret is like a good cutoff. It still sounds pretty good. After doing all the work with the acoustic part, I'm really familiar with the chord progression now, so the electric part goes down without issue. I work on my electric tone with the Logic amp modeler and I settle on the preset Empty Club. It's based off of an orange head, a little bit of overdrive distortion from the amp that I like. I like to use the same amp setting for the entire time and just use the volume, maybe add a pedal or two or change the guitar. I feel like this makes it pretty vibey, especially when you're recording with digital amps. To do it this way makes it feel a little more real to me. Next up, I work on the rhythm Snicks, which requires a good amount of focus. This is one of those really easy parts that becomes incredibly difficult when it comes time to record it. Because you have to play every single one with the exact same velocity and precise timing. Take your time with a part like this and take it slow, you have to just nail it. Then I tackle the lead guitar part. I decided to do like a semi-chordal lead as opposed to just a straight ahead single note line. I felt like it just fit the song better. I left the capo on for this one as well. Remember, there's no rules, you just gotta get it to sound right. The faux mandolin part was the last thing I needed to do, and this was gonna require a little bit of creative thinking. The demo track had a bit of a melody for the mandolin part, and I played it through a couple times to get the gist of it. I knew I wanted to do a harmony line on the top 2 strings, but I needed a way to mute the other strings so I wouldn't have to worry about it. So I grabbed the microfiber cloth, take it underneath the strings that you want to mute, put it back under one of them and just slide it down, and then slide it all the way up. The old tricks are the best tricks. So now, these strings are completely muted and these are the only ones that are ringing out. So once I have everything recorded, I clean it up a little bit and do some minor mixing, some minor panning to make sure that everything sounds the way I want it to. Now I need to bounce all the tracks out and send them to Julian. I use Dropbox in the same kind of way that he sent me the material, and I create a separate folder and share both of us on it. In Logic, I remove all the panning, and then I solo each track and I bounce the entire project or section. I know there's probably an easier way to do this, but this way lets me set the in and out point, and it lets me just bounce the entire track. I just go through each track one by one, bouncing it this way, save them all in a folder, and then drag them into the Dropbox folder, and let the producer know that you submitted the tracks. If this video helped you better understand how to record and submit a session guitar part, let me know by hitting the like button. I know this was a lot of information, but if I forgot anything, please let us know by leaving a comment. Hopefully I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, take it easy.